Just 8 years ago, I was crossing the Mediterranean to make it from Africa to Europe. Then I was homeless in Paris, sleeping in the street. I just had a dream to become something. That's the thing about dreaming. If you believe in yourself, you can be your own hero or hero to somebody else. Thank you, everyone. Keep dreaming, keep fighting. Wakanda forever!
The baddest man on the planet. Without any doubt, the UFC's heavyweight champion has every right for this label. Francis Ngannou, the man that deserves our respect. Despite all the disrespect coming from the organization, Ngannou still has millions of fans around the world, and it's about time to recall why. Dear friends, today's video is dedicated to 5 fights when Francis Ngannou shocked the MMA world. Please don't forget about the likes and comments with 4 words. Here we go. ALISTAR OVEREEM.
I'm just gonna ask you one question. How tough is his chin is strong now? So that is the question for ALISTAR OVEREEM. So if he has any answer, he can give me that.
When Francis Ngannou got signed with the UFC, it was impossible not to notice him. Enormous and vivid man with huge muscles resembling a real predator, which is an approval to his nickname. One knockout after another gave him an opportunity to fight a former champion in Andrei Arlovski, whom he knocked out rather easily in the first round. After this fight, Ngannou had to face another former champion in Junior dos Santos. The fight was officially announced, but Junior pulled out not too long before the actual bout. The time was running and Francis laid off for almost a year, but eventually it was decided to make a contenders fight between him and ALISTAR OVEREEM. Power against technique, the main narrative of the upcoming fight.
Well, there's 2 things. Very strong guy, punches hard. Secondly, I mean, it's UFC. Everybody has a plan. Everybody's good everywhere, right?
Right.
But so am I. I give him definitely props. 9-fight winning streak. I think 5 or 6 in the UFC.
Yeah.
Great physique, strong. Hardest hitter, right, in the performance center.
Hey, but is ALISTAR a guy who you watched when you were getting into the sport and said, oh, I'd like to fight him one day?
Yes, I said that when I had my UFC contract. I said I would want to fight him one day.
The thing is that Francis doesn't need to trash talk to make noise and draw attention. His appearance and cold charisma alone gets the job done. However, when he said right in Overeem's face about what's going to happen in their fight, it was really scary.
Go sleep, sleep.
This was one of the scariest knockouts in the history of the UFC. The uppercut that Ngannou slayed ALISTAR with was truly terrifying. At one moment, it seemed like Francis killed Overeem.
To try to get a matchup with Ngannou. Oh! Goes the Reem! Francis Ngannou!
But fortunately, the Netherlander came back to his senses after a while. As for Ngannou, this win earned him a ticket on the plane called Title Fight with Stipe MIOCIC.
I was engaged, so there was not, I don't even know what happened, you know. I just threw punch and then that happened. And I was already engaged, but I didn't have time to see that he's like out.
CAIN VELASQUEZ. Nevertheless, Francis Ngannou was defeated in his first fight with Stipe and then lost to Derek Lewis in the best fight in history. Everybody started to write Ngannou off, as it seemed that the blueprint to beat him was discovered. But after his relatively quick win over Curtis Blaydes, these talks were shut, as Ngannou proved that he is still dangerous. As soon as Francis started to give any interviews, he was constantly bringing up names of the 2 fighters he wanted to face, CAIN VELASQUEZ and Brock Lesnar.
Who do you want next as an opponent? Is there anybody you're aiming for?
My next opponent that I want right now is CAIN VELASQUEZ.
You want CAIN?
Yes, for the next fight. You know, my next fight was like 1 month ago. Yes, and now I need to fight. I need to make the fight on. So I want CAIN.
You want CAIN?
Unfortunately, the fight with Lesnar could not happen due to obvious reasons, but the fight with Velasquez was officially announced and targeted for February 2019.
Francis is a big guy, a big heavyweight, who has a lot of power in his punches. That's where he's dangerous. We got to get him out of his comfort zone, maybe wrestle him a little bit, you know, throw some different setups at him, like, you know, start off with the boxing, make him think that we are going to box, start wrestling back and forth. That's how you make people frustrated in this game, you know. This is mixed martial arts. You can do anything. So be really creative out there, and that's what I'm going to do.
Can you knock him out?
I can knock everyone out.
No question about
No
that.
question about it, no doubt.
It's been a war. It's been a war. I'm expecting a tough fight, 5-round fight, you know. A dangerous opponent, a guy that's extremely strong. I believe it's going to be a tough fight, and so that's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm planning for.
Two huge and tough heavyweights. Undoubtedly, every fan expected a real war, considering that CAIN looked like a kryptonite to Ngannou, a fighter with relentless pressure, infinite cardio, and decent wrestling. On paper, things looked pretty bad for the Cameroonian, and analysts saw CAIN being the favorite. But in reality, 26 seconds, VELASQUEZ fell down after the very first takedown attempt. Francis retired CAIN with such a quick win and a habitual knockout. Just wow.
Felt more confident in it.
Oh, he got hurt.
Velasquez is
That's
hurt.
it. That's
Ngannou
it.
closes the show.
Oh my
Just
goodness
like that,
gracious.
Francis Ngannou has knocked out Cain Velasquez.
I promise you guys, I'm back. As I said before, I'm back. And you're gonna see me around. Again, I told you yesterday I have some surprise for you. I hope you like it. Thank you.
Junior Dos Santos. After an impressive win over CAIN Velasquez, Francis wanted to solidify his status with another knockout to finally shut down all the talks that started from his fight with Derek Lewis. His opponent happened to be another former champion of the UFC's heavyweight division, Junior Dos Santos, who was coming into the fight on a 3-fight winning streak and recently knocked out Tuivasa and Derek Lewis. There was an impression that he truly restarted his career and was ready to come back on the front line of the title run.
When I spoke to him, he said that he hopes to knock you out in the second round. What do you make of that?
We hope a lot of things, but there are a real difference between our hope, our wishes, and the reality. And the reality, he knows what is the reality.
What is the reality for you?
The reality is I'm going there with some bomb that I'm gonna throw, and he can't catch it. He know that he doesn't have toys to catch my my bomb.
Everybody's saying that would be safer for me or something like that to take him down, you know. But I'm not looking to be safe during the fight, you know. I'm looking to win this, and. Of course, you know, I can use my jiu-jitsu, and if I see the moment to take him down, if I decide that I want to take him down, I will. And I have my jiu-jitsu, I have the ground game, you know. But my main goal, like I said, I feel like people wants to see knockouts, and I want to give them the knockouts because it makes me feel good.
Maybe he goes that far, maybe not. But there is one thing that I know for sure is I'm going there to put him down.
As a result, Junior Dos Santos lasted only for 71 seconds. This fight was of course a little bit longer, but only because Dos Santos was more cautious than CAIN. Of course, he tried to handle the Cameroonian's onslaught, but his onslaught is impossible to stop. Francis Ngannou shocked the world once again and proved that he is here for real, as the win over another former champion means a lot. For such a short period of time, Ngannou managed to make a good name for himself, which in hindsight meant that the times in his heavyweight division were about to change.
I'm very happy now, and then I hope the UFC gonna realize that I deserve the title shot right now.
Certainly.
I deserve the winner of DC and Stipe. I want my place in the division. I need some respect. I need some respect now. I deserve it.
It's hard to say, you know. I know that he has a lot of power, you know. He connects the hand and it's done. Yeah, one more victim. of him, you know, of that power.
Stipe Miocic 2. One of the biggest fights in the history of the heavyweight division. At last, Francis Ngannou earned his long-awaited opportunity to try his luck in contesting the title against Stipe Miocic for the second time. Prior to that, the Cameroonian repeatedly said that he deserved a second chance, but while the champion was dealing with Cormier, Ngannou had another fight at the notorious UFC 249 event. He knocked out Jairzinho Rozenstruik at the very beginning of the first fight in just 20 seconds. It looked truly convincing. This was more than enough to persuade the matchmakers that Francis Ngannou is the only one who deserves to fight for the title, even though it's his second try.
You know, he's definitely gotten better. You know, we all evolved, and he's definitely evolved. And of course, I knew I would probably see him down the road again. And you know, listen, there's gonna be a hell of a fight Saturday.
I remember that fight from the preparation, and obviously I'm not taking credit of Stipe. He was a better fighter that night, but when I look at that fight, I hate watch that fight because I don't recognize myself. Even the way that I'm fighting, the way that I'm rushing, it doesn't. That guy looked like me, but I don't recognize that style. I did a lot of mistakes leading up to that fight. I wasn't even there myself, you know. I kind of like I didn't even have an emotion in that fight. I don't know. I was just there, like lack of emotion. But this time things will be different. I had enough time. Me and my team, we put everything down right, and I think it's gonna be right.
Eventually, Francis was right. Although Stipe survived in the cage longer than 4 of the Cameroonians' last opponents combined, he couldn't drag him into deep waters, as was the case in their first fight. After a relatively peaceful first round, it could be clearly seen that Ngannou did his homework. The second round started more actively. Francis let Stipe lead the dance in the stand-up, but later he got more active and knocked him down badly. The power of will helped him to get up, and what is specifically remarkable, he moved forward at the savage knockout artist, but it was a fatal mistake. One touch to the chin of Stipe and he fell down on the canvas. Absolutely insane knockout. Oh man, only a few could have predicted that. That was the moment when the new era in the heavyweight division began, the era of Francis Ngannou's reign. CIRYL GANE. The one and only title defense of Francis Ngannou in heavyweight. 22nd of January of this year, Cameroonian had his first fight being in the status of the champion. Prior to the fight, both fighters were translating confidence in their success. The intrigue was spiced up with the fact that the sparring video of Francis and CIRYL was recently leaked, showing that the latter surpasses the Predator. Later, Francis said he knocked the Frenchman out during one of their training sessions, which really affected the atmosphere between the two and caused additional tension. In fact, that fight was fundamental. Those who follow the sport of MMA know exactly why. For those who don't know, here's the thing. Ngannou struggled to break through from Cameroon to Europe, but got to know his coach Fernando Lopez from the MMA factory gym, who made him a fighter. Francis quickly broke into the UFC, where he started to crush everybody in his way. He got to the title fight with Stipe Miocic in January 2018, but lost, and then his relationship with Lopez started to gradually deteriorate. Eventually, they broke up completely. However, Lopez raised another top heavyweight, CIRYL GANE. In August of 2021, CIRYL, who debuted in MMA in 2018, became the interim champion by knocking out Derek Lewis. As Gane was having his rise, the coach was giving acute interviews blaming Francis for being ungrateful. He even promised to pay $10,000 to anyone who can find a video where Francis thanks him or the MMA factory gym. However, Ngannou had his own truth. "I am wrong about only one thing, that I haven't broke up with him earlier," said the coach, whose pride was hurt.
With Francis, we did some sparring, and it was a really great sparring from Francis. And he did a beautiful left kick. And the problem with Francis is just, you don't like to spar technical sparring. You like to make power, and I told you a little bit a few times before. So you give me the left kick. You hurt me. You see, I'm honest with you. You hurt me. You hurt me. But you don't knock me down.
Do you stop sparring that day? Did you continue sparring?
The question?
Did you continue sparring that day?
Didn't continue because the coach didn't want that. Because I was a little bit disappointed about.
Did you walk out of the training? Go grab your bag and leave the gym that day, sir? And the only reason why you were here talking about that is the footage that you guys released, then forced me to talk about it. I never talk about it because it was an accident. I didn't mean to hurt you. We were training and was helping each other. So once again, I respect you, and then I'm not lying. And Saturday, we're just gonna fight, right?
All right, Francis, big brother.
For the first 2 rounds, CIRYL felt amazing on his feet. Great footwork, fast strikes. He literally outstruck Ngannou without any issues, and it was evident that the champion needed to make some changes. And how anyone in the world would think that Ngannou would be able to do this. He started to wrestle with GANE and did it successfully. There were hundreds of memes after this fight like Francis Ngannou Gomedov, Francis Khabib, etc. It was really surprising to witness, but win is a win. Francis took all the last 3 rounds, and look at his face when GANE attempted a leg lock on him. Something like, dude, are you serious? Francis Ngannou successfully defends his heavyweight belt and shuts all his critics' mouths up and partially avenges his former coach's words. Francis Ngannou, a deserving heavyweight champion who proved everything to everybody a long time ago. After his last performances, he rightfully deserves to be called the baddest man on the planet. And one would like to believe that after this performance, the world's best league will not let him go and give him a worthy contract. That's it for now, guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and if yes, please give it a like, leave a comment and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any upcoming videos. The last thing for me to say is, see you guys in the next video.